All right. Speaker Johnson was on Squawk Box this morning and got a question from Andrew Ross Sorkin about these moderates, these uppity moderates in the conference who oppose him. Here's Speaker Johnson this morning.
Hey, people had been waiting to see what you would do, and you decided to go with the more conservative part of your party, to the consternation of some moderates, including Mike Lawler. What happened? What made you decide to go this way, and what do you do with the moderates who are unhappy with this decision?
Well, it wasn't the Speaker's decision. It was consensus of the body. We have 220 Republicans here. Lots of different dynamics in their districts across the country. This extending of the COVID-era enhanced subsidy, the premium tax credit, has been a big issue around here of debate for months now. We knew that we were coming to the end of the year when it would expire, and remember, the Democrats created this COVID-era subsidy. They are the ones that put the expiration date on it, and now they're turning to Republicans as if we should save that in some way. We couldn't find consensus on it with the body in order to pass it. Here's the reason. Everybody needs to understand there's a false narrative out there about these subsidies. It's subsidizing insurance companies, and when you do that, you're masking the cost, the rising cost of healthcare, and you're making the premiums rise even further.
All right, let's go to your questions now. If you want to get in the conversation, please raise your hand. Come in, I'll unmute you, ask you to say where you are and what's on your mind. First, let's go to Mike. Mike's from New York. Mike, welcome in. Mike Lawler, you were invoked there by the Speaker, and under the rules of debate, you get to thank you for being here, Congressman. Thoughts on this? Well, let me just ask you first, and then Larry and Amos will get in. Brian Fitzpatrick, your colleague, said this today. He's signing the discharge petition. Will you sign the discharge petition as well?
I will. We have a rule vote at about 10:30, and then I'll make a determination.
All right, you won't break the news on that there. Just what do you think of what the Speaker said? He says the sense the conference is against you, and it's true. Most of your colleagues don't support your position. So what would you say in response to explain how you differ and why you differ from the Speaker?
Look, the Speaker is not wrong in what he is saying about the challenge here pertaining to healthcare and costs. Obamacare has not worked. And certainly not the way the Democrats told us it would. Health insurance premiums have risen by 96% since Obamacare took effect 15 years ago. The problem here is that the enhanced premium tax credits that were put in place during COVID to help people in the middle of a pandemic are expiring. And so without the subsidy continuing, the insurance companies are raising rates at an astronomical pace. So the Speaker's right about that. Now, the problem is you can't just cut it off cold turkey without a plan to address the spike. Yes, we are putting forth a bill that will tackle some of the macro issues around this, including associated health plans, which I think will help reduce costs. The CBO estimated that it'll reduce premiums nationwide by 11%. And that's actually an extremely positive step forward. But for those that are reliant on this subsidy going to the insurance companies, just cutting it off without a plan to bring down the cost there, to me, is idiotic. And politically, handing the Democrats a victory that they want. By the way, Hakeem Jeffries doesn't want this to pass. He doesn't want a solution. He wants the issue. And so I and a number of my colleagues have worked in a bipartisan way over these past many weeks to actually come up with a compromise bill that extends the subsidies for 2 years while putting in place conservative reforms. It would be conservative wins, including eliminating zero premium plans and making people pay $5 nominal, premium payment. And so to me, this is foolish. I obviously was very clear about that yesterday on the floor and in interviews. That's just the New Yorker in me.
If I were writing this up for Vanity Fair, I'd say Lawler calls Speaker foolish idiot, but that's just me. Larry, question for the Congressman.
I believe, by the way, that's exactly what CBS News did after the Major Garrett interview. You did say in that interview with Major Garrett that they need to be moving toward compromise on this. But isn't it true that the fraud that was uncovered in that GAO report that your colleague Jason Smith's been talking about has sort of been a game changer for a lot of the members there on the Republican side? Isn't the compromise that's needed before the subsidies are voted for is you fix the fraud along with the subsidies? Otherwise, you're just throwing more money to the fraud.
Well, this is precisely why we go after the insurance companies in the bill. We put income limits in the bill. I mean, somebody making $600,000 should not be getting subsidized for their health insurance plan. But moreover, we go after the zero premium payments because you have 12 million people that are insured under this category that have never had a claim. Frankly, they don't even know. They don't even know that they're insured most likely, and that's why we're saying there needs to be a nominal fee.
I'm sorry, Congressman, I might not be understanding correctly. So you're saying go ahead and do the 2-year extension of the subsidies, and then your bill that you're talking about will then be entertained? Because it seems to me
no. The bill is a 2-year extension.
Oh,
with
thank you.
These reforms.
With those reforms.
With these reforms.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's why I've not been open to the 3-year extension with no reforms, because to me, that's just unacceptable.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem here, and why Brian Fitzpatrick signed it this morning, and why others may, is doing nothing is not an answer either. And this is the problem. This is why I'm saying this is such a foolish exercise by some of my colleagues.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.